Why do some women prefer wilder sex instead of just making love? There is a secret hidden in the female subconscious that most men completely ignore because they are afraid of coming across as rude. The truth is that many women feel a deep desire to be dominated in a way that is safe and decisive. The first behavior that almost no man realizes is her need for relief from the mental load of control. All day long, the modern woman has to make hundreds of tough decisions and manage a mountain of exhausting responsibilities. When she finally gets to the bedroom, she doesn't want to be the director, the mother, or the perfect professional anymore. She's looking for a total surrender, where she doesn't have to think, plan, or give constant instructions to her partner. The first sign she's looking for this intensity is her response to your firm touch. Do you know what almost no one realizes about basic female psychology? There's a massive difference between being aggressive and being intensely decisive with a woman you love. When you hold her firmly, you are sending a biological signal of protection and high value. If this is already making sense to you, go ahead and leave a like on the video. It helps the channel keep bringing you this kind of revealing content. Sign number 1, the search for a momentary loss of rational control. In my office, I hear women describe how excessive gentleness can actually become a barrier to true passion. A patient in her early 40s told me that her husband had become overly careful and predictable. She felt like he was just managing the moment instead of actually desiring her with fire and urgency. He would ask if everything was okay every 5 minutes, which completely broke the rhythm of the physical connection. She didn't want violence, but she did want that primitive desire that doesn't stop to ask for polite permission. When you take the initiative with confidence, you are temporarily lifting the weight of choice off her shoulders. This allows her nervous system to relax and focus purely on the most intense physical sensations. This dynamic of polarity is what transforms a lukewarm encounter into something she will never forget. This kind of psychological detail is exactly what I explain in depth in my complete guide, Attraction Secrets. If you want to master these triggers, the link is right down below in the description. Sign number 2, the need to feel viscerally desired and not just liked. Making love refers to affection, comfort, and the emotional security that builds the foundations of a relationship. However, wild sex communicates something different. It communicates that you want her so much that you can barely control yourself. For the female mind, being the object of an uncontrollable desire is one of the most powerful forms of validation. Imagine a woman sitting in front of me telling me she feels like nothing more than a colleague. Her husband is a wonderful man, but he stopped looking at her with that hunger that existed in the beginning. She misses being pulled close without hesitation and feeling her partner's physical strength. When a man is always just gentle, a woman can start to doubt her own power of seduction. She needs to feel that she awakens something instinctive in you, something that sweet words cannot fully express. Sign number 3, the physiological response to blood flow and being an absolute presence in one's own body. So recently, I noticed something interesting while talking to some patients about basic supplementation to improve blood circulation. I noticed that using nitric oxide powder helped both men and women become more physically responsive. When the body is more awake and blood is flowing better, tactile sensations become much more vivid. This connects directly to the preference for greater intensity during the sexual act between a couple. If her senses are sharpened, a soft touch might not be enough to satisfy the sensory demand. She is looking for pressure, weight, and speed to keep up with what her body is feeling. I personally experienced this feeling of being more present in my own body, and the difference is truly noticeable. If you are curious about it, the link to the supplement I mentioned is right down there. Here is the interesting detail. Her micro-expressions reveal what words are often too ashamed to say. Observe how she reacts when you increase the pressure of your touch or when you change your rhythm. If she bites her lips or squeezes you harder, she's asking for more intensity. Many men pull back in that moment for fear of hurting her, but that pullback breaks the accumulated sexual tension. Learning to read this body language is the key to becoming an exceptional lover and an unforgettable partner. If you want to understand more and more about female psychology and attraction dynamics, subscribe to the channel. That way, You won't miss the next videos that will transform your perception of modern relationships. I also created the Desire Manual, which contains 20 powerful questions to open up this conversation with her. It is free material to help men who want to improve but don't know exactly where they should start.